the feminine monarchy, or the history of bees. My husband's an interesting guy. Hey guys, what's up and welcome to my channel and welcome to my husband's office. It has been a very long time since I have been in this space and done anything to it, and I have been wanting to get back in this room and do a little revamp to this space. Now, I'm not ready to tackle the whole room yet, but there is one project in particular that I think is going to be really quick, really easy, and make a big impact to the space, and I'm ready to tackle it, and that is revamping the built-ins that are right behind me. If you've been a subscriber for a while, you might remember a built-in makeover that I did in my own office / studio space. This project isn't going to be nearly as crazy as the built-in makeover that I did in my space, but it is going to make a big impact and it shouldn't take that long. So with all of that being said, I'm gonna get this big old leather chair moved out of the way and talk to you guys about what I have planned for this quick and easy transformation. Okay guys, so the built-ins in my husband's office are the exact same configuration that the built-ins in my studio space used to look like. We've got drawers down here, we've got a cabinet up here, and unlike the built-ins in my office, my husband actually really likes the drawers. He uses them, they're all filled with all of his random things, so he doesn't want to get rid of the drawers. So my plan for the drawers is to just like update them, maybe add some trim, switch out the hardware, and update the drawer fronts. The part that I am going to be changing is this cabinet space right here. He doesn't really have a ton up here. It's just a bunch of random like odds and ends little things that can be redistributed throughout the drawers. And so what I'm gonna be doing is getting rid of these cabinet doors and building a shelving unit up here for his books, because over the last 3 years, Jordan has gotten more and more and more books, and he's got stacks of books all over his office. So I figured by giving him a little shelving unit, it would be a perfect space for all of his books that he loves so much. My plan for today is to get these doors quickly removed, and then I'm gonna try to get this trim right here removed. I'm not gonna remove this outside trim, I'm just gonna try to cut back this trim right here so that I have the complete width and height of this space to build this shelving unit and slide it into place. So that is the plan, and I'm gonna get to work. I need to get up there. Okay, different plan. I think I am gonna remove this outside trim because it will make this easier. Let's go grab a baby crow. There we go. Cool, yay. Huzzah. I'm gonna get all of this cleaned up, and then I gotta figure out my measurements. 26.5, 40. 26.5 by 40. I need something to write this down. Okay guys, so I just went through my scrap lumber pile and I found 2 pieces of plywood that are perfect for the 5 pieces that I need to build this shelf. So yay, this is a scrap lumber project. So I am going to use my table saw to cut down these 5 pieces, and then once they're cut down, I can use some pocket holes to start putting them together. is nothing ever easy. For some reason, I don't know why, my table saw was not cutting nicely. I think the blade might be old, so I'm gonna have to replace that. That's probably why it wasn't cutting nicely. I got the pieces cut down. I just had to finish up the cuts using my circular saw, which was not a big deal. And now I'm gonna get these pieces sanded down and get pocket holes in the right places to put the shelf together. And I'm so excited because your girl finally leveled up. I have had my other Craig pocket hole jig for forever, and that thing is getting old. It's falling apart. So I leveled up to the 520 Pro pocket hole jig. It works really similar to the other one. You just set the depth over here, and then you can press this thing and it will cling to your board that you're drilling holes into. I'm gonna get all of that done and start building the shelf. Okay, I am obsessed with my new Craig jig. The built-in clamp is a serious game changer. The other model I had, you had to use a separate clamp, and although it's not a huge deal, after several projects it did get old. So having this all-in-one clamp really sped up the process of drilling out these pocket holes. So if you do a lot of building, I highly recommend this model or the step up from this model, which is the 720. And when building shelves, one of my favorite little hacks is to cut a few pieces of scrap lumber to set your shelf height. It makes getting perfectly level shelves really nice and easy. Let's go see if this thing fits. I gotta put it back on it, but yeah, let's see if it fits. Ooh, wait, should fit. I have to go cut this down by like the smallest amount. I cut 1/4 of an inch off the bottom, measured everything. It should work now. There we go. Okay, I'm done for today. Good morning, guys. I had this whole plan for today, and now that plan is out the window. I was gonna move everything outside and prime and paint everything and work outside today and use my paint sprayer, but that all went out the window when I woke up and I could not breathe because my allergies are terrible today. My throat is itchy, my eyes are itchy, my nose is itchy. So I'm gonna work inside today next to an air filter that helps with said allergies. Hi, bonbons. So I did go ahead and do just a little bit of work and did the one thing that I did need to get done outside today, and that was getting the back of the little bookshelf cut down. It's not attached because it's gonna be a lot easier to prime and paint the shelf and the back, not having them together yet. And then I also went ahead and filled in all of the pocket holes with pocket hole plugs. So I used some wood glue, pop them in, let them sit, and then use my multi-tool to cut back those wood plugs. So now I have nice, smooth, filled in pocket holes. So my plan for right now is to quickly go ahead and get this shelf primed and get the back primed, and then I can move on to working on the drawer fronts. Let's get this thing on. There we go. Do your thing, air filter. Okay, let's get this cut off so you guys don't have to listen to my air filter. Okay guys, it's time to work on these drawer fronts. So my plan for these drawer fronts is to, one, quickly get them scuff sanded down. There's a few goopy areas from whoever painted this previously. I'm also gonna remove this hardware and get that hole filled in with some wood filler. And then I also ran and got this thin, cheap trim. I went with this thin, just kind of plain trim because, one, it was really cheap, and two, it's thin, and it's thin enough that I can just use my little miter clippers to cut it, which means I don't have to go outside. 'cause allergies. So now I'm gonna get to work doing all of that. Okay, so I just finished up the trim. It looks so good. I'm so glad I added a little something something to the drawer fronts. But now it has been a while since I have worked on the first few drawers, so now that wood filler is dry, I'm gonna go back through, start sanding them down, start priming these drawer fronts. So once the drawer fronts are done, I'm gonna be able to move on to painting the shelf and the back piece. Okay guys, I am gonna get to painting. For paint, I am using iron ore. I'm using it for two reasons. One, it is the same paint that I used on the built-ins in my living room, so I like the fact that all of my built-ins now are gonna have a similar look, where they're all gonna be dark with beadboard shelves. And then I'm also using it just because I have it left over from that project, so if I don't use it, it's just gonna go to waste. So I'm gonna get to painting. I'm gonna have to do 2 coats, and then once I do the 2 coats on the backboard and the shelves, I'll be able to attach that backboard and get this moved into Jordan's room and get it screwed into place.
Really? You're gonna clean your butt right now? Cats. They're untrainable. Good morning, guys. So it's been 5 days. Yay! Turns out I didn't have allergies. Turns out I was getting really, really sick. Good times. So this project had to sit so close to being done for 5 days, and my poor husband had to, you know, work in a very messy office for the last 5 days. Oh well, we're gonna get it finished today. So my first step in finishing this project up is getting some trim cut down and getting it attached to the sides here, the top, and then the 2 shelves. So I'm gonna go outside, get my miter saw set up, and get some trim cut down, and then we can go from there.
Show me light, show me love, make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days...
Safety first, because it's about to get loud.
Show me light, show me love, make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me love.
I just used a scrap piece that was already ripped down to about 1 inch for these shelf pieces. Okay, so I have all of the trim attached to the front of the shelf, covering up that plywood edge. And then I just took this old trim outside. I removed all of the nails and I sanded down the edges so that I could reuse this trim. So I'm gonna get this attached. Hopefully everything goes smoothly, and then I can get to filling in nail holes and priming and painting these pieces.
Sometimes life will put you down, make you fall off the ground.
Yay, this looks so nice. So now it is time for some cleanup work. I'm gonna fill in all of these nail holes. I'm gonna do some caulking. Once that's done, I can sand all of that back, and then I can prime and paint these few areas that I need to prime and paint. Woohoo, we're almost there.
Show me life, show me love, make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me life, show me love, show me life, show me love, make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me life, show me love. This is how we got.
Okay guys, so I am almost done with this project. I do have some touch-up painting to do on the green, but I had to go in with some joint compound and fill in some gaps in the drywall that got peeled back when I was removing the trim originally. But these drawer fronts are looking good, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the new hardware. This is just some like cheap bronzy handle hardware that I got on Amazon. So I'm gonna get these handles put back on so I can get everything put back in the drawers and finish up this project.
And that is it, guys. Jordan now has a cute little library, and I organized all of his books by category to the best of my ability, and there is still just a little bit of room for him to get some more books. I love this new setup and the look of the built-in. The darker look really fits the dark and moody vibes that I am going for in this room, and I love that all of his books are right next to his reading chair. It really is the perfect setup for this room, and I definitely now cannot wait to tackle the rest of the room and give it a little refresh that it so desperately needs. I hope you guys liked this video and project. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.